What's going on, guys? I'm DJ Av for Trap Camp, and today we're going to be talking about sampling in FL Studio and other DAWs as well. And this particular style it's a pretty dope style. It's pretty underused, and I just want to bring it to the limelight because I've used it in the past a lot. And it is called resynthesis, and we're going to talk more about this. So let's go ahead and get into it because I just am so ready to do this. Anyways. So what I got here is a project that I did that uses resynthesis, and this is a very rewarding song, and it's kind of just like about timing or whatnot. So I'm just gonna go ahead and play the beat in 3, 2, 1. So it's coming in loud, sort of loud, I don't know. So yeah, here we go.
Trap Camp.
And that's the instrumental for Malcolm Anthony's Mountains, and it's produced by me, and it was one of those things. It's kind of funny because a lot of people like that track, and it was funny because when I was just only experimenting, I didn't do much to it, but one of the main things that I did do, and was resynthesis. So what is resynthesis? Resynthesis is just it's like the name says, it's resynthesizing a sample, and be able to change the melodic tones of it, and it's breaking down each and every individual audio piece into its natural waveforms, such as sines, sawtooths, square, and what have you. So for that stake, we're just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna play the sample within Harmor, and Harmor is a native plugin by Image Line that is phenomenal. I mean, probably one of my favorite VSTs is versatility. So what makes resynthesis so special over this sampling the usual way or the typical way? The main thing about resynthesis is the fact, if you haven't noticed, barely any audio artifacts are induced by me playing it at a lower or higher octave. If you play a sample at a higher or lower octave, different things happen to it. And I happen to have mountains in here, and I'm gonna go and audition the waveform just via a regular sampler, much like your traditional MPCs or etc. And perhaps I might unmute that. Okay, so I gotta unmute one other thing. So I'm gonna play it at a lower octave C, probably C2. You see, playing that at a lower octave made it slower, and if I was to play it higher, that happens. So I mean, the usual things that you have to do as far as timing your sample and making sure that your sample is at the proper BPM has to happen using Harmor. That wasn't the case with older versions of Harmor. I'm not understanding why they made that change back. I don't know, or maybe perhaps the sample that I use, I didn't add the timestamp or time signatures or tempo signatures within it. So that could be the case as well. But as you can see, once you play something, if you play a sample in general at a higher octave, it plays faster, and if you play a sample at a lower octave, it will play slower. That isn't the case in resynthesis, and that's because of the fact that, again, that the fact that the VST harmer for that matter is actually calculating the waveforms in its natural synthesis forms, such as, again, the sawtooth, the sine wave, the square, etc. So this is why it naturally happens like this now. And so with that bit of information there, now you're able to feng shui or mess with your sample in many different ways on the keyboard. And in ways that you wouldn't be able to do if you was just using a flat out straight up sampler. And that's the beauty of resynthesis. Now, I know a lot of people are going to ask, are there other ways to do it? And, how would you do it in Harmor? So we're going to go ahead and do it in Harmor. And, I'm going to pull up something. I got something right here. And that's what I'm going to work with here. So as simple as this, from, flat out Harmor, and I'm going to go ahead and re-pull up Harmor fresh instead of just using it like this. And, just in case you're wondering, you don't have FL Studio or you don't have Harmor in your FL Studio, you can purchase it on the ImageLine website. I will have the link in the description box for you. Now, this is how Harmor looks like when you first get it. You'll just be playing a typical sawtooth. And, that is cool. And, it has all kinds of synthesizing tools within it. So you can actually finagle it more, but now we're just going to go into the image section, which it pulls up more than just regular waveforms. You can actually pull up pictures within it and resynthesize pictures. Yeah. So, I'm just going to pull up floors, the sample here. And again, you give or take, I didn't time it or whatnot. This particular VST, again, doesn't time manipulate without the time signatures within it already. So I'm playing it at C3 on this keyboard to C3. And I'm going to play it at a lower C3, a lower octave. Well, not a lower C3, a C2. And as you can see, it is playing the resynthesized version of it. And, you actually can pull the spectrum analyzer here. And, see the beauty as it is. So, with that being said, I think I can extend it some more, yeah. You get a good look at the spectrum analysis there. You can turn velocity off. I kind of recommend turning velocity off, so... And you're pretty much good to go. A lot of the features that you could do within resynthesis in Harmor, you can mess with the speed. Which inevitably, boy, I said that wrong, will make you have to do adjustments into your BPM, of choice. So I'm just going to go ahead and reset that. You also can mess with the scale. Which gives you maybe some audible some audible stuff or audible artifacts. Wow, what is my talking today? That will, either be pleasing to you or not. Kind of sounds cool to me, that messing with the scale there. And then you can mess with the different levels here and other types of scaling as well. So, on top of that, you can get a sample that, or pull up a sample in here that you can actually just change everything about it in its natural nature. So, you can actually change the pitch frequency, which, if you have a MIDI keyboard, that's pretty much what you're doing there. You can, add wobble. You can even go as far as adding more voices to that sample. So it either sounds, that it spreads the stereo separation or the position of the different voices. Then mess with the pitch. And those things right there alone would kind of help you in terms of just like making something new or just having something that sounds very obscure in your production that will take you to another level, And then you have other things where you can mess with the different filters, or you can add a band pass or a low pass. You can get to cut off certain higher frequencies. Or even just add resonance where you can change the resonance notches to different things. See something more. And just doing certain things like that, or even adding the harmonizer itself, where it adds different octaves to the sample by one key per key. And don't forget, again, you can automate any one of these parameters in here. If you're native in FL Studio, creating animation clips is essential to your production, play, or whatever you're doing, or your beat making or whatever. So, creating an animation clip, automating within the track. If you don't know what automating is, watch the TM88 Music Theory, watch the Secrets of Metro Boomin Theory, and it will put you right on point in terms of FL Studio. So, that just brings up another level, but it gets a little deeper than that. There are other tools that again, they do cost. You got to pay the cost to be the boss. So, with that being said, that's when I'm going to pull up Ray Blaster. Ray Blaster is something I haven't played with a lot, but, there's certain key things about it that I did like. And one of the main things that I liked about it is the fact that you can pull up waveforms within it. So I'm going to go to resynthesis. Now select a waveform. Well, I'm not going to read that, but, I'm going to go and my data. So now we have a sample pulled up in there, the same sample, this sample right here, floors. And now we're in Ray Blaster yet again. So let's hear it in there. Now, this is much different from Harmor. It actually times the stuff for you no matter what. It has a little bit of an advantage there. And you can mess with the format. And you can do other things like sync and BPM sync. Which can do crazy things. I'm just having fun. But messing with the tune is just like the key thing of doing whatever you want or whatever you please to that waveform. And you know, rate less is hella fun. And you know, resynthesis again, it's just hella fun to do. I mean, it's like you're really just going in there. I get it's like the Russian roulette of sampling, basically. You know, and having something like that and rediscovering a sound, you know, is very very rewarding, and you know, can really put you in the upper echelons. And all you did was merely mess with a sample that already had something that you liked, and then you know reimagined it using you know assisted tools. So anyways, if you like this video, give it a like. If you have any comments, please leave a comment. Again, you know, tell me if there's any other tools out there for resynthesis that has a resynthesis feature. Tell us about it. Share with the world. I definitely want to know. I know Icarus was going to have something ridiculous when it comes to resynthesis, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get my hands on that plugin. But anyways, I'm DJ Av. Y'all have a good day. And RIP to Tupac's mama, Mr. Core.